Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going into a really harrowing case from Alexandria, Egypt. It's a story about a psychological trap, basically, where the lines between who's the victim and who's the perpetrator get incredibly blurred.
Yeah, so blurred that even the investigators had trouble figuring it out.
Exactly. It centers on a man named Ambra. He was this quiet, successful computer tech, but just completely lacked any kind of worldly experience that made him so vulnerable.
He basically walked straight into what the authorities called a scorpion's nest.
That phrase, scorpion's nest, it really hits home, doesn't it?
It does. It implies a sort of unified, venomous thing. And this isn't just a domestic dispute gone wrong. It's more a study of, like, love addiction, financial predation, and how fast a sheltered life can just fall apart when faced with calculated deception.
Okay.
Our mission here is to look past the initial horror and really dig into the specific, deliberate psychological tactics used against Amber, the things that made what happened in the end almost inevitable.
All right, so let's unpack this. We're not starting at the beginning, though. We're jumped right into the aftermath, the moment of discovery.
3 days after the crime, inside this newly rented apartment in Alexandria. Supposedly clean, fresh start.
Yeah, imagine the scene. The air in that flat was just thick, heavy. There was this growing stench. You just couldn't ignore it.
Think about those sensory details. A brand new place, right? A chance to reset, or so MR believed. But within, 72 hours, this foul, really putrid smell starts taking over.
Okay.
And it wasn't like old garbage or, bad plumbing. It was something organic, something deeply wrong.
And the person sleeping right near the source for 3 nights, his wife, Aya, completely oblivious, apparently.
Sleeping right through it. Until she couldn't take the smell anymore, she starts looking around trying to find where it's coming from.
And it leads her not to the kitchen or the bathroom, but right into their bed.
The scene she finds is it's chilling, but also kind of pathetic in how amateurish the attempt was to hide it. She finds this package, tightly bound, really heavy.
Wrapped in what?
First a sheet, then a blanket, and secured not just with rope, but with tons and tons of adhesive tape, like industrial tape, applied almost frantically.
Wow, so whoever did this wasn't just trying to hide something. They were trying to, seal it away, erase it.
Exactly, with sheer force almost. And when she looks closer, well, the package reveals the truth. Human remains.
Oh, my God. And it was her father's body.
Her father. She immediately goes to the police station. It's like 1 a.m.
Police arrive. Forensics comes in. What do they make of it?
Well, the analysis gives them a pretty strong early clue. The extreme, almost clumsy effort to conceal the body with all that wrapping, hiding it under the bed. It didn't scream hardened criminal.
No. What did it suggest?
Profound panic, an emotional break, someone completely overwhelmed by what they'd done. The investigation quickly points to the new tenant, Amtamar. They knew about the ongoing, really vicious fights he'd been having with Aya's family.
So finding the killer was, I guess, straightforward.
The who was clear pretty fast, but the why, that was way more complicated than just simple anger.
That clumsy concealment, it really points away from some kind of professional criminal and straight towards a man just panicking.
Completely. But to grasp the sheer psychological collapse that led to this act, we need to go back 6 months earlier. We need to look at Emmer's life before all this.
Okay, let's do that. Tell us about Emmer's.
You really have to understand his background. Raised in Alexandria, respectable family, very devout, extremely close to his mother. She was his biggest supporter, always buying him the latest, expensive gear for his work.
And he was good at his job.
Brilliant. An electronics repair technician. People asked for him by name. He earned good money. Very good money.
But there was that term you mentioned, calm, raw, unseasoned.
Exactly. It means he had almost zero life experience outside his job, especially, and this is key, in relationships. He was just totally innocent, untouched by the world's darker side.
The perfect target, basically.
Sadly, yes, a perfect piece of untouched prey, and that innocence, that rawness, that's what drew Aya in.
So how did they meet?
His whole world flipped the day he was doing a job at a major hotel. Aya worked there as a room service attendant. And their first meeting, the way they each saw it, tells you everything.
How so?
For Amr, who had zero romantic history, he sees her watching him, and boom, instant love at first sight. He literally rushes home, ecstatic, telling his mother he's found his soulmate.
Oh, bless him. And Aya?
Aya's view, purely transactional. She saw a naive guy, obviously doing well financially, and most importantly, completely calm, innocent, Easily manipulated.
Not a person, but an opportunity.
A walking bank account, essentially. And a naive one at that. The relationship that followed was just pure calculation on her part.
He proposed quickly.
Instantly, and she agreed immediately. Made him feel like finding him was her life dream, just fed right into his fantasy. She gave him an address for a family visit, like, within the week.
Wow, that was fast. So he takes his mother to meet the family.
He does, and his mother right away felt deeply uncomfortable. She said later the parents just seemed unsettling, untrustworthy.
That parental gut feeling. You hear about that so often in these cases.
Absolutely. She kept quiet during the visit, but as soon as they left, she told Emmer straight up. She was totally against the marriage. She was certain the family was bad news.
And how did Emmer react? This is the first big test, isn't it?
It is, and it's the first major crack in his connection to safety. For the first time ever, he defies his mother, accuses her of trying to stop his happiness.
Oh, no.
And Aya, she must have sensed her control slipping or maybe heard about the mother's reaction because she immediately called Emmer, demanded to see him right then.
And he went?
Left his mother, went straight to Aya, and she just pulled him right back in, used all her experience in, well, handling men to regain complete control.
Well, they got married?
Within a month, found a rental apartment quickly, and here's another one of those huge red flags that got ignored. Aya's family demanded nothing. No furniture, no dowry, nothing.
Really? What did they want?
Only that Amr secure the place to live, the physical residence. That was the only thing that mattered, securing the asset base, basically.
Okay, so they're married, they have the apartment. How long before things started to unravel?
Not long at all. Early 2013, maybe a month in. Shock number one. Emmer finds out Aya's parents are actually separated, but they still live together.
Weird. But maybe explainable.
Maybe. But he also noticed Aya's mother was the one calling all the shots, especially with money. The father. He seemed like a ghost. No say in anything. It was this strange, unified front, focused entirely on Amatar, their daughter's new, well, asset.
Okay, unsettling. What was shock number two?
This one was huge, potentially catastrophic for Emmer, given his background. He finds out Aya's mother has a criminal record.
For what?
A conviction related to vice or morality crimes, an ADAB charge, they call it there. For someone from Amr's devout, conservative family, that's like a cultural earthquake.
And did he confront Aya? Tell his own mother?
He confronted Aya. Her explanation, simply that her mother had repented. And Amr, completely hooked on this idea of love, just buried it. Kept it secret from his own family.
That's key, isn't it? Keeping secrets cuts him off.
Absolutely. Cuts him off from anyone who might help him see clearly. Makes him even more dependent on Aya. And then the family starts pushing boundaries. Testing him.
Oh.
The mother shows up, wants to stay for a couple of days. Okay, fine. But she brings her current husband. An unregistered Urfi marriage? Amr, swallowing his discomfort, welcomes them.
Okay. Awkward, but maybe manageable.
But then, a week later, she comes back. With a different unregistered husband.
What? No, that's too much.
That was the line for Arranger. He finally lost it. Confronted Aya, demanded she stop her mother bringing strange men into their home.
And Aya's response?
Classic manipulation. I can't control my mother.
Aya initially refused to accept it, but then Aya used, well, the sources say certain methods. And it involved emotional pressure, maybe intimacy, things that always got him to back down. Overrode his own judgment.
He was stuck in this loop.
Completely locked in. And this is where something else comes out, something really sinister looking back. Ira revealed Aya was constantly pressuring him to take stimulants, medications, to perform stronger sexually. Why? Just performance anxiety?
He thought so at the time, but later, it became clear it was leverage, a weapon being planted. Meanwhile, his money, just draining away. To Aya, her mother, even her father, who'd just show up randomly to collect cash.
So the pressure's building.
Yeah.
Financial drain, bizarre family behavior, the medication pressure. What happens to Eimer?
His work starts suffering. He's anxious all the time. He notices Aya's always late home, ignoring calls from unknown numbers. He starts suspecting things.
Does he investigate?
Quietly. He goes back to the hotel where they met, pretends he's not married to her, just asks a former colleague about her subtly, and the truth comes out. Devastating. The colleague tells him Aya, using her room service job, was having relationships with people in the hotel.
Oh, man, that must have crushed him.
He didn't want to believe it, but the seed was planted. He started watching her more closely, and then he caught her, meeting a man at a cafe.
Confronted her then and there?
No, he waited till she got home. And when she did, she lied. Boldly. Said the man was just helping her find a job, trying to protect her from harassment or something. He finally lost control. He slapped her. The sources say it was the only time he ever got physical.
What was the fallout from that?
Immediate. and highly organized by the family. Immer, maybe desperately, called Aya's mother to report her daughter's behavior, the lying, the meeting. Within an hour, both mother and father are at the door.
To support Immer.
No way!
Yeah.
Unified front instantly blaming Immer for hitting their daughter, ignoring everything else.
Of course. And the fight got loud.
So loud, the landlord got involved, heard the shouting, the insults. He told Immer the apartment was suspicious, hinting he knew something about the family's reputation, and demanded they move out. Immediately.
More chaos.
But Aya's family saw an opportunity. They knew the landlord had connections, could cause trouble, so they manipulated Immer again. Convinced him they had to move quickly to another apartment in the same area to avoid police involvement.
It sounds like a setup.
It absolutely was. While Amr rushed off to sign the lease for the new place, the very place where the body would eventually be found, Aya and her parents packed everything. Everything.
How fast?
They moved within 3 hours, just gone, into the new apartment.
Did Amar's own mother get involved at this point?
Finally, yes. She learned the extent of the trouble. She actually convinced Amr to officially divorce Aya.
Oh, good. So he was free.
For about 2 days, the addiction, that psychological hold Aya had, it was just too strong. He relapsed, they got back together, unofficially, moved back into that new apartment together.
Unbelievable. He just couldn't break free.
Couldn't. And when he tried to regain some control, tried to focus on his work again, show some independence, Aya played her trump card.
With drugs.
Exactly. She threatened him, said she'd report him to the police for taking the narcotics, the stimulant she had pushed on him. The performance drugs weren't about sex. They were blackmail material from day one. Insurance.
That is chillingly calculated.
It guaranteed his silence, his
Yeah.
compliance. He was completely trapped.
So what was the final trigger? How did it lead to the father's death?
It happened while Amr was unpacking his work equipment after that rushed move. Hidden among his own things, he found 2 pieces of paper.
What were they?
The ultimate proof, the absolute betrayal. First, a divorce certificate for Aya, dated before he even married her.
Meaning she lied about never being married before.
Lied completely. And guess who the witness on the certificate was? Her father.
No.
And the second paper, even worse, a second marriage certificate for Aya,
Mm-hmm.
dated after she married Amr.
She married someone else while still married to him.
Yes, was still with him. And the witness on that one, also her father.
The whole family was in on it from the start.
Coordinated generational deception. He finally saw the full picture, the depth of the setup he was in.
What happened then? He must have been reeling.
He's standing there, papers in hand, probably just shattered. And who walks in? Aya's father.
Did the father see the papers?
He saw them right there in Amr's hand, and completely ignored them, didn't even acknowledge them.
What did he do instead?
Started berating Amr, yelling at him for not spending enough money on them. And then he viciously insulted Amr's mother.
Oh, that was the final straw.
The insult to his mother, the only person who ever genuinely cared, who tried to warn him that broke something in Amr. He snapped, he shoved the father.
And the father reacted.
The father, who the sources mentioned was a criminal type himself, pulled out a weapon, a box cutter, a mash rat, a razor-sharp blade.
So Emmer was threatened.
Terrified, enraged, all the abuse, the money, the lies, the blackmail, his mother being insulted, now facing a weapon. He said later his life flashed before his eyes. He felt he had nothing left to lose.
And he fought back.
He decided in that moment he had to kill this man, the man who represented the core of all his suffering. He attacked the father, strangled him for hours until 11 p.m. that night, when the father finally died.
My God, and then the wrapping.
Then he spent the next 4 hours until 3 a.m. frantically wrapping the body. Sheets, blanket, all that tape, before hiding it under the bed they shared.
And I just came back and slept there.
Here's the chilling part that shows the family's coldness. Aya, who was technically divorced from Amr then, came back to the apartment and slept on that bed for 3 days. Never reported her father missing.
Why wouldn't she report him missing?
Because she likely knew exactly who was responsible, and maybe even why. It points to the depth of their calculation. They knew Amr had snapped, and they just let it happen, or were indifferent.
But you said earlier the police sympathized with Amr.
Yeah.
Recognized him as a victim, too. How does that square with the gruesomeness of hiding the body, letting her sleep there?
That's the real paradox here, isn't it? The source material strongly suggests the strangling itself was a result of immediate panic and emotional overload. The wrapping was desperate, clumsy, not cold and methodical.
Okay.
But the long-term calculation, the financial drain, the blackmail using drugs, the complete disregard for the father's life once Amr was pushed too far, that calculation seems to belong entirely to the family, not to Amr in that moment of frenzy.
So, looking at the bigger picture, what does this case really tell us?
It's an extreme example of predatory behavior targeting profound naivety. Amr wasn't just a financial mark when he tried to push back, even slightly, based on his own morality. They engineered his complete collapse. They turned his dependency, his supposed love for Aya, into the weapon that destroyed him.
And it highlights the danger of ignoring those initial warnings, doesn't it? Like his mother's gut feeling.
Absolutely. It shows the tragic cost of ignoring not just parental instinct, but also just fundamental incompatibilities in values and life experience. Amr was like oil and water with that scorpion's nest, and they exploited that difference until he shattered.
That detail about the drugs, it wasn't just a side issue.
Not at all. That's one of the most critical takeaways. Those drugs weren't about sexual performance or some relationship quirk. They were a deliberately planted, long-term tool of blackmail, built right into the relationship to guarantee leverage later, chillingly premeditated.
It really is a chilling story, how someone's complete lack of experience could make them so vulnerable to, well, engineered psychological abuse.
Right. The manipulation didn't just steal his money. It destroyed his sense of self, his connection to reality, long before he ever laid hands on the father. He was psychologically dismantled first.
So here's something for you, the listener, to think about as we wrap up. Amr confessed immediately. The police, to some extent, saw him as a victim of this intense, long-term control. But he still committed murder.
He suffered a kind of psychological murder, you could argue, but he inflicted a physical one.
Exactly. So how do we weigh that? How much responsibility does the perpetrator bear when they themselves are simultaneously the ultimate victim of such planned, escalating manipulation and control?
It's a profound question. No easy answers. Something to definitely mull over until our next deep dive.